Hello. Again, this isn't me talking about how I'm not going to upload for 4 months again. I actually have a topic this time, not me just bitching and complaining about life. I am very sick and tired of one thing particularly when it comes to the indie gaming sphere. A lot of major corporations have been releasing, for the most part, hot dog water within the recent years. Like, there's some bangers that are coming out recently. You know, Insomniac Games never lets us down. New God of War game coming out. I'm excited for that. Hopefully I get a chance to play it. GTA 6 is never getting released, but if it does, I want to be there for that. You guys know there's no fucking way I can afford half these games. Like, yeah, I can get a couple of them here and there, but like, as often as like every time a new game drops, you know, I gotta buy a console, I gotta buy a game, then I gotta buy the Game Pass, because these companies are greedy as shit. They just want fucking money. But that's not what I'm complaining about. Everyone's complained about that. I want to complain about something else that also a fair amount of people have bitched and complained about. Why is it with the indie gaming sphere, every indie game developer just makes the same fucking thing over and over and over and over again? All these PS2 style games getting released and then just being labeled as psychological horror, when all it is this very slow burn, boring, tedious chore simulator for about 20 to 30 minutes of runtime, and then in the last 5 minutes of very mediocre build-up, you get a shitty, booty fucking jump scare at the end. And then they label this psychological horror because you feel a slight singe, or whatever the word I'm looking for is, of unease, I guess. General unease. Like, yeah, when you have something show up here and there in the corner of my eye, it's like, hey, I know I saw something. But that's not really psychological horror. It doesn't keep you up at night. It doesn't really fuck with your head. It just gives you a general feeling of unease. If I just stare at somebody for a prolonged amount of time at work, like stare at them for 2-3 minutes straight, not blinking, that's not psychological, and they feel uneasy, that's not psychological horror. And they're just like a little like weirded out, like that's funkalicious. And then I run up at them and go, oh, Sonny is psychologically horroring people. I don't know why so many people are so obsessed with making everything psychological horror titled, or making that their genre, and then just not having anything that messes with your psyche. I always say a good game, maybe not psychological horror, I'm not too sure if it's more survival horror, but Outlast, I always go to Outlast, or games like No, I'm Not Human. I'm pretty sure that's the title of the game. Or it's like No, I'm Not. It's No, I'm Not Human. That game, really good. It sets a crazy world building. It fucks with your own head. It gives you a constant tension and suspicion of other people. It makes you suspicious of yourself, whether or not you're a visitor. Makes you suspicious of whether or not other people are a visitor. It makes you suspicious of FEMA. It constantly gives you this feeling like you're not safe, even in your own humble abode. Shit, I think the cat's a fucking visitor. That thing is ugly. And that lady you go to bed with, the seductive woman, 50% of the time, she is a visitor. And that's because all women are succubi. That game is actual, like, that there is actual psychological elements that really jog your brain and make you in a, not unease, but genuine, like, you're genuinely worried. That's how psychological horror should be played out. And then, you know, there's that other game that got released where you play as like a rapist or something like that. Fucking Mouthwashing. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't played Mouthwashing. I haven't even watched any gameplay of it. I just know you play as a rapist. Sorry. That game, it fucks with your cranium because, you know, as the story progresses and you see all these people that are damaged directly by your actions, rada. I don't remember how the game goes exactly, but you see all these people that were damaged by your actions after you sunk your ship and killed everyone. Never mind. I don't remember how the game... Anyway, your little fucking vehicle that you're in with a majority of people ends up getting crashed deliberately because you couldn't bear the fact that you raped somebody or some fucky shit. And then, you know, when it all builds up to that, boom, that's psychological. It fucks with your head a little bit. Same logic goes with games like Silent Hill, the Silent Hill series. Not the most recent one. That's more up to like Resident Evil Alley. But the original, like the first two, I think Silent Hill 3 is a perfect example that people usually point to for a psychological horror game. Do not ask me to describe the game. I never played it. I'm just going off of hearsay, but I also know one of the other Silent Hill games you also play as a rapist. That's usually the theme. If you're a rapist, can I even say that? I'll censor that, whatever. That's psychological horror. That's how you, it's a feeling of dread. A constant feeling of dread, a constant feeling of something's not right, that like an itching, a constant itch of just distress. That's psychological, not just a cheap jump scare and a white noise background setting in a moderately empty house. I don't think people understand what psychological horror actually means. And as somebody whose channel is kind of being carried by a lot of these indie horror games, I'll say it. A lot of these videos don't get uploaded when I upload or when I record these games because they're not fucking fun. They're boring. And then I watch the video and I'm like, if I'm bored while editing it, what chance does it have for other people? And there are certain games that genuinely were good. Like there was a couple games I played on my channel, like the Don't Let Him In or something like that. That one guy at the door. That was good. That was a very good game. I think that was good. You remember that one fucking game with the guy with the pig mask? That stupid game where I named myself, what was it? Hold on. The horror game So Scary I converted to Islam. My name is now Muhammad Abdul Mahershala Ali. That's a real fucking title that I came up with. That's actually so fucking funny. My name is now Muhammad Abdul Mahershala Ali. That is racist. When I end up becoming popular and famous and all that whatnot, they're going to look back at that video specifically and they'll be like, so, Mr. Muhammad Abdul Mahershala Ali. But yeah, no, Cannibal Harvest was one of those games that was also labeled as psychological horror. It was very poorly done. It was very poorly made. I'm sorry to the person who made it. I'm sure that is one of your first games. That one jump scare did get me, but come on, that's not enough. And the same thing is now happening with games that were, pretty good, that were well made. Games such as Fears to Fathom. I haven't played the most recent one, but the games have kind of been tapering off in the fear factor. They've been doing a rinse and repeat thing. And absolutely, it is Puppet Combo's fault. They did it first. They did it best. And you want to know what makes Puppet Combo so uniquely special compared to all these other indie developers? They space their games out like crazy. They haven't released a game in a while, though. I don't know why they haven't. I'm kind of waiting on them to release a new game. I thoroughly enjoy them and their games. They do a good psychological horror with the PS2 style game. And that's another thing. I'm so tired of everyone biting off the PS2 style game. Just because your graphics look like piss does not mean your game has this odd sense of nostalgia. That's not how it works, okay? Puppet Combo's games have that odd feeling already to them with the atmosphere. I don't think the graphics would change that a terrible lot, but the graphics being so poor, and then you have these faces that are still somehow surprisingly highly detailed, especially games such as Nun Massacre, which everyone glazes because it deserves a glaze. It adds a little something. It adds something that you're just not used to. I don't know, man. Now, I gotta pause this recording because I have to do a podcast. Speaking of which, everyone, go and subscribe to the Spin On podcast, where you will see me and my best friend Ghostin and Mac Tengio, where we record every Wednesday. We upload a new video, and I am very late, and I didn't realize that. So I'm gonna stop this recording a little early, and I'll come back in like an hour. So BRB. I don't even remember where I was at initially. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually was just talking about this in the podcast, Spin On Podcast. Go subscribe. I'm just very sick and tired of the very same cookie cutter style games getting released and then thrown with the fat ass psychological horror name thrown onto it. And even as I speak about this, I'm still downloading games. I mean, I'm not going to stop playing indie horror games. I just wish they would do something different. And I was just saying to Ghostin, I think like a good studio that does it is Dark Phobia Games. I think they do it well. They released a Menti, and that game was really good looking. I don't remember half of the story or how the gameplay went, so I'm probably going to download and play it. I understand that people want to bite off of Puppet Combo and do what they did because they did it the best, but even Fears to Fathom is falling short. I mean, it's a shame. It's a shame. But I don't make video games, and I can barely criticize games as is. I mean, I don't know how to find the right words to really explain my disdain for these things. I just wish, at the end of the day, they would stop doing the exact same thing over and 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 over. It's ridiculous. It's boring. It's been dried out. And it doesn't mean I don't want to ever see it again. I mean, sometimes it really does help the aesthetic for the most part. I see it too fucking much. Too much anything, you get sick of it. You know, if you drink too much water, you still throw up. And that's where I'm at with these games. And unless I want to stop uploading horror games, I don't really have much of a fucking choice but to play these games, which is the shitty part. It's the sucky part. So I have to actively go out of my way and try to find games that I can only guesstimate are actually good. This is to anyone out there who is an indie developer, whoever has any slim chance of seeing this video specifically. Maybe they saw the title and was like, hey, I'm making a horror game. You have all creative control to make something phenomenal. At the end of the day, as much as I bring their name up and it sounds like I'm dissing them, Puppet Combo, they did it, and they did it amazing. I mean, they completely changed the game. Chilla's Art, they do it right. Oh my god, Chilla's Art is so fucking good. Those two guys, I'm pretty sure it's two guys, they just keep making banger after fucking banger. You can either be Chilla's Arts or you could be Fears to Fathom. Or another one, you can either be Garden of Banban or you can be Poppy Playtime. I mean, two of the same genre, but just one does it better. At the end of the day, you can make something great off of what someone else has done. What I just said on the podcast is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. I mean, the wheel's been around for fucking millennia. It's constantly being modified and changed into something better. It's still the same wheel at the end of the day. Sometimes it's not about making something completely brand new. Sometimes you just got to take the base foundation and just change it up a little bit. And you can make something really fucking good. You can either take my words to heart or you can not listen to me, or if anyone's even listening at all. I'm a small channel, fuck it, I know. I just think as someone who's really big into playing all these random indie games, and I'm getting more into with like paying attention to specific developers who release certain games, I have a slight right to put my foot in the door and be like, this is good, this is not. And there's going through itch.io, and I know this isn't the only place to find indie games. I just think it's the best place to find them. It's just, you see the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. They all look the same. I just want something new. I want to feel refurbished. I want to feel refreshed. But at the end of the day, I can't make a game, and I'm not in any right or position to be able to say, you guys need to do something different. Maybe it'll take somebody else who's making a game that's so uniquely good that everyone changes their mind, and then this whole PlayStation 2 style game just falls flat on its face, and they're like, we're gonna do this instead. I mean, hyper-realistic games were extremely popular for a long time with developers using, I'm assuming, Unity assets they could find. It's not always a bad thing, it's just sometimes someone makes something that's too fucking good to pass up on. That's all I gotta say. I don't really have anything of general importance to say beyond this point. I think I've said the same thing 100 times. More videos coming soon. This is not a sunny side up, by the way. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and share all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's what I'm gonna do from now on. This is how I say goodbye to people. Yep. God, I'm such a fucking loser.
I don't need to lie about it.
That nigga with that weird voice wouldn't listen if he spat, let alone utter the word. I'm not inviting him back over to my crib. Do we be asked for eyes? I heard he keeps a journal with the notion of war cries. I done seen him break it all over the lunch table. Said he made a card game tight like guitar capos, but I don't fuck with him, I know he a lame. I'm thinking out my lunch tables, thinking the same. When others sit alone, I notice he sits with them. Super duper cheesy, which is why I don't mix with them. Why I don't mix liquor, my mama said